If school had actually taught us how to manage money, most of us would be in a completely different place right now. Think about it. They taught us the Pythagorean theorem and how to label a cell diagram, but no one ever sat down with us and said, here's how to budget, here's how to get out of debt or stay out of debt, and here's how to build real wealth. Welcome to Personal Finance 101, everything school should have taught you. If you've ever wondered how to save money, how to create a budget that actually works, how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, or how to get out of debt once and for all, this is the video for you. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact steps to build financial stability, understand money like the top 10% of people do, and actually start feeling in control of your life again. Because personal finance isn't just about numbers, it's about freedom. It's about the ability to make choices and not just survive. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video so YouTube knows to show this to many more people who are looking for help. Now let's get started with the foundation, what personal finance actually means. Most of us were never taught money, and unfortunately, the results show. According to the National Financial Educators Council, the average American loses over $1,015 per year just from a lack of basic financial knowledge. Think about that. That's money simply lost because no one ever taught us how to budget, invest, or even understand credit. And it's not just people struggling with low income. A 2024 report by Fortune found that 40% of people earning over $500,000 a year also feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck. So it's not just about income. There are people making way more than all of us and are having trouble. It's about habits, it's about discipline and understanding how money actually works. Financial literacy isn't just another subject we take in school. It's the foundation for every major decision we'll ever make in our life. Whether we buy our first car, a home, start a family, or launch a business, our understanding of money determines our outcome. And here's the good news. You don't need a finance degree to master it. You just need a structure, a plan, and the willpower to stick to it. And that's what we're building here. Before you can win with money, you have to understand its language. Because if you can't define the words, you can't really make sense of the game. Let's break down a few core terms that will change how you think about your finances. Income. This is everything you earn, not just your paycheck, but the side hustles, the freelance work, rental income, or even dividends from your investments. Expenses. Everything that leaves the bank account. Your bills, your groceries, gas, subscriptions, those sneaky $6 coffees. Assets. Things that add value to your life or put money in your pocket. A home, a business, investments, even skills that increase your earning potential could be considered assets. Liabilities, the opposite of assets, things that take money out of your pocket. Your debt, car payments, mortgage, credit cards, and even some luxury purchases that actually lose value the second you buy them. Net worth, the difference between what you own and what you owe. It's the true measure of your financial health and is increasingly more important as we get older. Compound interest, interest that builds on itself. When you invest or save, compound interest becomes your best friend. When you owe money, it becomes your worst enemy. Inflation, the silent thief of your purchasing power. It's why a $20 bill in 2000 doesn't buy what it does today. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that from 2021 to 2022, that we had over 9.1% inflation. This means that if you made $50,000 a year, you theoretically lost $4,550 just due to the increase in cost of everything. That's why you have to understand this term is very important. When you start understanding these words, money becomes less intimidating and a lot more like a game that you can actually win. And now that you can speak the language, let's move to the foundation of all personal finance, the budget. So first off, I want to tackle the common misconception that a budget is a punishment or a restriction when it's actually your plan for freedom. When most people hear budget, they imagine a financial jail cell where they are missing out on everything that they enjoy. But in reality, a budget is the opposite. It's how you give every dollar a purpose so your money finally starts working for you. So let's simplify this. Step 1, track your income and your expenses. You can't fix what you don't measure. There are great tools like Monarch Money, Copilot, Rocket Money, or even a simple Google Sheet that can make this very easy. The goal is to see exactly what's coming in and what's going out. Google even has a free budget tracker that you can use. Step 2, categorize your spending. You want to know how much is going to your needs, your wants, and your savings, investments, and debt payoff. A simple rule of thumb is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% goes to your needs, like your housing, car, groceries. To dive further into this needs category, your housing costs should be 25 to 30% of your income. Auto costs, your car costs, should try and stay at less than 10%, which leaves about 10 to 15% left for the rest of your needs. And here's a tip no one talks about. If you currently don't have a car payment or a mortgage, you'll want to set up what's called a sinking fund, where you save money for the next one. So if you're driving a reliable used car, you would ideally put money aside each month to save up for the next car or the home way beforehand. This allows you to have the money set aside for when you make the upgrade rather than going back into debt for it. So after your needs, 30% will go towards your wants. This is like movies, eating out, coffee, the things that we like to have, but are not necessary to survive. And then 20% goes to your savings, investments, and debt repayment. We would eventually love for this to be higher, but 15 to 20% is a good starting place. You can adjust this depending on your situation. If you're aggressively paying off debt, you might do a 50-20-30, where you pay 30% towards the category of debts, savings, and investments. Step 3, automate your money. Automation is one of the most underrated tools in personal finance. Setting automatic transfers to savings, automatic bill payments, and auto investments removes emotion from the process. Most people don't have a saving problem, they have a forgetting problem. Automation fixes that. If spending too much is an issue for you, I recommend opening a separate discretionary spending account for your wants. And when it hits 0, you're done. That way you can't overspend where you need it. Step 4, review and adjust every month. Life changes. Bills go up, income shift, priorities evolve. A budget isn't meant to be static. It's a living plan that grows with you. That's why these percentages are not finite amounts. The hardest part of budgeting isn't setting it up, it's sticking to it. The secret to staying consistent isn't about discipline. It's about designing your environment for success. First step, make your goals visible. Whether it's saving for a house, paying off student loans, or building an emergency fund, write it down. Put it on a sticky note on your mirror. Make it your phone background. Visual reminders keep you emotionally connected to the goal. Second step, make saving automatic and visible. This goes back to automating. Set up a dedicated savings account, separate from your main checking. When money moves automatically, you stop seeing it as spendable. Third step, find joy in free or low-cost activities. You don't need to spend money to enjoy life. Cook more meals at home, ride your bike, visit a local park, or host a board game night with friends. People often confuse spending money with having fun. They're not the same thing. Fourth step, plan your splurges. It's okay to spend on things you love, as long as it's planned and guilt-free. Budgeting isn't about eliminating joy, it's about being intentional. If you know you have birthdays coming, save ahead for those so you can buy the gift, go out to eat, and enjoy the day without feeling guilty. Fifth step, track your progress. Watching your savings grow or your debt shrink is one of the most motivating feelings in personal finance. Progress fuels consistency. And here's a reality most people don't realize. Saving money doesn't limit your lifestyle, it funds your future lifestyle. When you start associating saving with control over your life, things will start to change for you. Before moving into debt, it's worth talking about the mindset that drives spending in the first place. Money decisions are emotional. Every swipe, every purchase often has less to do with logic and more to do with how we feel. There's a reason retail therapy feels good. It's dopamine. That quick hit of pleasure from spending fades really fast, but that bill sticks around. Here's what financially healthy people do differently. They pause before spending, even just 24 hours. That short delay gives that emotional brain time to calm down, and the logical brain time to step in. And here's another trick. Name your dollars before you spend them. When you know your budget, every dollar has a mission. That simple shift from, can I afford this, to, is this what my money's meant to do, can help you think again before approaching the register. We'll talk more about emotional spending later when we cover the biggest money mistakes. But remember this, financial freedom starts in the mind, not the bank account. So now that you understand budgeting and habits, let's talk about the biggest wealth killer of them all, debt. This is the point where most people either get stuck or they completely turn their life around. Debt is not just a financial burden, it's an emotional one. It keeps people up at night. It slows down opportunities, and it quietly steals from your future. But here's the truth, anyone can get out of it. And once you do, life feels completely different. Let's start with this. Debt isn't evil, but it's often misunderstood. Most people fall into debt not because they're irresponsible, but because they were never taught how money really works. Credit cards, student loans, auto loans, they all seem normal because everyone has them. But what's normal doesn't necessarily mean what's best for you. Debt keeps you trapped in the past. Every payment you make is money earned today that you're paying for something that you bought months or even years ago. The first step to conquering debt is to list it all out. Every credit card, every loan, every line of credit. Write down the total balance, the minimum payments, and especially your interest rate. Most people avoid looking at these numbers because they are uncomfortable. Once everything's written down, there are two main strategies to pay it off: the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. The snowball method focuses on momentum. You start with the smallest debt and pay it off quickly, and roll that payment into the next one. Each win builds motivation. The avalanche method focuses on math. You pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first to save the most money over time. Either method works. The best one is the one that you'll actually stick with. So here's the simple truth. You can't outinvest bad debt. It doesn't matter if the stock market's returning 18% if your credit card's charging you 24%. As of October 2025, per the card rating survey, the average credit card rate was 24.22%. So no matter your return that you're getting on your investments, the credit card and other high interest debt just sucks it all away. Every extra payment you make towards your debt is a guaranteed return because you're literally earning back the interest you would have lost. If you're buried in multiple accounts, consider simplifying, maybe through a balance transfer or a consolidation. But be careful. Consolidation is a tool, not a magic wand. If spending habits don't change, the debt comes right back. The mindset shift here is powerful. Debt-free isn't just a number. It's the ability to make choices without fear. When you pay off your debt, the same money that used to go towards payments can now start going towards saving, investing, freedom to take that vacation that you've been wanting to. So here's something rarely talked about in personal finance. Money is easier when you're not doing it alone. If you have a partner in life, that shared commitment can change everything. When two people align their goals, it multiplies their results, not just adds them. Shared rent, shared utilities, those are obvious savings. But what's even more valuable is a shared goal. When you both understand the plan, there's less tension and more teamwork. Money fights are one of the top causes of relationship stress, but they often come from miscommunication. Start with an honest conversation. Don't just talk about numbers, talk about goals and the purpose behind the actions. Ask, what does financial freedom look like for us? What are our short-term priorities? What are the big dreams that we are working towards? From there, build a joint strategy. That doesn't always mean combining every account. It means combining direction. For example, if one person is paying down student loans while the other focuses on growing savings, you're still a team. It's about progress together, not competition. Money can divide, but can also bring you guys closer together when you treat it like a shared mission instead of a taboo topic. Let's talk about the traps, the most common money mistakes that quietly keep people stuck no matter how much they earn. Because success with money isn't just about what you do right, it's about what you stop doing wrong. So let's cover mistake number one, thinking income equals wealth. High income doesn't guarantee freedom. Remember the article that we spoke about earlier. Fortune reported that 40% of those making over $500,000 still feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck. Wealth isn't about what you make, it's about what you keep. Mistake number two, ignoring your budget. People say, I'll start budgeting when I make more money. But budgeting is how you keep more of the money that you're making. Mistake number three, lifestyle creep. Like we spoke about earlier, as income rises, spending trends tend to rise with it. The new car, the upgraded house, the daily coffee, they all feel justified because we make more. But lifestyle inflation kills wealth faster than almost anything because we can never get ahead. Mistake number four, carrying credit card balances. Guys, if you're paying 20 to 25% interest, it's nearly impossible to get ahead. Every dollar of debt is a dollar not invested in your future. We fight so hard to get a 10% or higher return on investment. So having 20 to 25% working against you is like having a giant anchor tied to your feet. Mistake number five, not having an emergency fund. According to Bankrate's 2025 Annual Emergency Savings Report, 26% of people who pulled from their emergency savings last year in the last 12 months pulled between $1,000 and $2,500. Without an emergency fund, one expected bill can push you right back into debt. So make sure to build up at least $1,000. Mistake number six, trying to impress people. Another name for this is keeping up with the Joneses. Buying things to look as successful as other people keeps people broke. Plus, you never know if the other person is living above their means. Mistake number seven, believing money will fix everything. Money magnifies who you are. It doesn't change it. So if you don't manage $500 wisely, you won't manage $5,000 wisely. Avoiding these mistakes isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. When you recognize the traps, you start to walk around them instead of into them. We've covered the mechanics, budgeting, debt, saving, but the mindset is what makes it all stick. As you start earning, you'll start to think differently. You'll understand that money is a tool to use, not a trophy that you want from working. You want to focus on your systems, not quick wins. Here are some of the habits that separate the financially free from the financially stuck. They tend to track their money regularly, not obsessively, but intentionally. They delay gratification. This is a big one. If it's not in the plan, wait until it is. They learn continuously, podcasts, books, courses. They invest in their knowledge before they invest in assets. They surround themselves with people who have healthy financial habits. If you have friends that constantly ask to go out, you'll feel the pressure to either go with them and spend money or risk the relationship saying no all the time. They plan for long term. Every dollar has a purpose. Dave Ramsey is famous for the zero-based budgeting method, where every dollar you make gets placed into a category. Both YNAB and EveryDollar are budgeting tools that budget this way. The average millionaire doesn't come from wealth. According to Ramsey Solutions, 79% of millionaires are first-generation wealthy. That means they started where you are. They just learned to make their money behave. And here's the key mindset shift. Personal finance is 20% head knowledge and 80% behavior. It's not about knowing the perfect formula. It's about consistency, discipline, and patience. So let's take a breath and recap what we've covered in the video. You now understand the basic language of money: income, expenses, assets and liabilities, net worth, and compound interest. You know how to build a budget that actually works and how to stick to it without feeling miserable. You understand how debt drags you backwards and how to attack it methodically. You've learned how partnership can multiply success and how mindset can make or break your progress. And you've seen the top money mistakes to avoid so you don't fall into any of these traps that life is throwing at us. But here's what matters most. This information means nothing unless you act on it. The difference between people who are stuck and people who change their lives comes down to one thing: taking action. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Start small. Create your first budget. Track your spending for 1 month. Automate a small transfer to savings when the next paycheck hits. Pick one debt and start attacking it. These small actions compound and they change everything. Remember, financial freedom isn't about never working again. It's about having choices. It's about deciding where your money goes instead of wondering where it went. And the truth is, it's not too late and you're not too far behind. No matter what mistakes you've made, what debt you've got, or how lost you feel, there's always a path forward. If this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to take the next step to build a full plan tailored to your situation, your income, your goals, you can book a free discovery call with me using the link down in the description below. Together, we'll go deeper into budgeting, debt elimination, and money systems that actually stick. Take care of your money so your money can start taking care of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.